Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for attending our webinar today. Okay, so today's session is a little bit different than our previous session. So in this session, we are not going to talk about designs, how to design, any design features, any design tools, but today's session is more towards the data management. So how do you manage your design data or any files related to your data, and how our Autodesk Vault can help. So let's see what's next. Okay, so again, so it's me. My name is Syed. So I'm the same presenter as you've seen last week and last few other weeks. Okay. So in case you have question in this session later, you can just type at the chat box and I will respond. Okay, so nowadays, so everyone has been talking about digitizations. So everything want to go digital. Either your drawing from manual drawings, now all digitals, even your 3D model. Now, instead of from showing or viewing it on a laptop screen or on PC screen, now they want to view it on as an AR, okay, or VR. So depending on the usage. Okay, so as a customer, so your point of view or your vision is probably to start a digital thread. So which means that end-to-end digital data and process management. So for all the departments, for all the teams in the company, from sales, engineering, purchasing, supplier, productions, and also after service team. Increasing data needs along a product lifecycle to help manage all the files. So since we have a lot of teams, a lot of departments, everyone are having their own data to work with. Example, a sales team will have to work with costs, all the product portfolio, all the concept. Okay, engineering will have to deal with all the requirements, all the changes, tasks, and production team need to work with a lot of drawings, a lot of bill of materials, to work with tools, the machine tools, and the instruction how to navigate or how to use the machines and so on. So that's just an example. Okay, all that is data. Okay, distributed, disconnected, and personal data sources. Okay, so with a manual data flow, okay, it's error prone. Okay, it requires a lot of more efforts, delays. Okay, oftentimes ad hoc and also will take some time. Oops. Crucial engineering data needs all the visualizations, BOM, drawings again, and drawings. So this is all more complex than the normal documents. Okay, all CAD and BOMs. So all the conversions of files. If you imagine the engineering teams work with a lot of files, 2D, 3D, PDF, Excel, and so on. Okay, so now how do we get to the engineering efficiency? And how can Vault help in managing your CAD drawings and also all your project related files? Okay, so how it will help? So Vault runs as it runs on its own, and also it runs as a CAD add-ins. So there are a lot of CAD applications that Vault support. It drives teamwork because we can also log and manage our work folders. We can set our release control for revisions and approval. We can all centralize our BOM creations all in one data, everything stored in the same locations. Okay, we can save a lot of time with file conversions, viewings, markups. And if you work with 3D models, right? So there will be a lot of design reuse and duplicate files. So Vault can help you to minimize all these duplications and help you to reuse all your existing file or model instead, so that you don't have to recreate. So you don't have to waste time to recreate your models. And also automations features that will help support CAD design automation in these processes. So either example, it can be as simple when your drawing is set or the status is set to release. It can be you can set an automatic rule. So every time a drawing is set to release, create one PDF files of the drawings, for example, or something like that can be configured within Vault. Okay, so product data management. So it's the foundation of secure, reliable, and performant data management. Okay, so this is a normal how you day-to-day happening in a factory or in a company. It doesn't matter if you are manufacturer, engineering factory, or are you in constructions or architects. Files will always go around, and if files that goes around is not managed, most probably everyone that using the file have their own version. So there is no really one true version, which is the right versions. Okay, everyone could be working and having their own version of the file. So that is very dangerous. Okay, if you can see here, this is some of the big keywords that you've probably seen. I don't know, maybe on YouTube, on Facebooks, or even on LinkedIn that people have been talking about. Single source of truth, product data management, version control, design reuse, all that big words. What is it all about? So let's look into these sessions. Okay, so where are the area of inefficiencies if we don't manage our data or our drawings or our models? First, the revision management. The file name itself will have a problem. As you can see on the list, example, final, the file you name it final as a final design. And then suddenly you have a revision. You make some changes. Okay, but you scared that you will overwrite the previous version. You have to rename final.final. And then this will go on and on and on, and you always need to save as until there are a lot of files. So one thing that you need to consider is the size of the files that is increasing with every save as. Okay, imagine you are saving it on a server performance or the latency or the network cutoff will make you hard or maybe cannot access the files. Collaborations. If you want to collaborate internally, probably you can send emails, ask them to go to find the files in the shared folder or something. But externally, how do you do it? So do you still send USB thumb drive? Or you need to send emails? So all that is creating another copy. And so whenever, when we work with, for example, when we work with our shared folder or in the server, right? Okay, so everyone who have access to the server will have access to the files. It means they can accidentally delete the files and the data inside that folders. All right, so quick one. So what's Autodesk Vault? So Autodesk Vault is basically the product data management software that improve productivity. It's not doing design. It's help you to manage your design files in a layman term. Okay. So it's not just a CAD file management. It's something you call CAD aware. It's aware of what's happening inside the CAD file. If there is any changes to the CAD file, it's aware. Okay. You can standardize changes and other processes. Okay. So it also supported a distributed team. Imagine you have your team location distributed around Klang Valley. One probably in Petaling Jaya, another one probably in Kuala Lumpur, maybe another one in Singapore. So you can do replications, okay? Multi-site replications. So you can do integrations, okay? Now we can even use Azure, okay, to collaborate externally. Okay. Okay, so Vault PDM integrates with all these tools. Okay, so not just AutoCAD or Inventor, basically all this, okay? There are probably more now, okay? All the LIS, all the AutoCAD, Okay, so you're talking about AutoCAD architecture, electrical, mechanical, all can get the benefits of using Vault. So that we'll see more further. It's not just your CAD files or not just your CAD applications. It also works with all your Microsoft Office files. Imagine you're opening up an Excel, updating it in Excel, you can straight away store it in Vault. Okay, you can also access it in Vault. You can see the file versionings, who make changes, who is the last changes, who made the last changes, who last deleted or copied the file. You can see all that. And okay, so I forgot to mention, also works with other CAD applications, not just Autodesk applications like SolidWorks, PTC Creo. So if you're wondering how it looks like, all right, so in case, for example, you are using AutoCAD, so Vault is basically installed or run inside your AutoCAD. You can see it, AutoCAD will have one tab for Vault. Same goes with the other application, they will have one tab for Vault to log in, log out, open files, save files. Okay. With every access, we require sign in because this is how you manage the files. This is how you in order to make the file secure, everyone need to have an access. Okay, as an admin, you can control someone or that person having access to what? Maybe only access to a certain folders. Okay, so a deeper look at how this multi-CAD integration, so not just AutoCAD Inventor or others. You can see this is how it looks like on Autodesk Inventor. This is how it looks like on SolidWorks. This is how it looks like on CATIA. Okay, this is NX. And there are a lot more example. All right. How does it work? So how this architecture of Vault data? So basically, it's replicate or mirroring all your so-called Vault workspace or working folders that you store locally. Okay, so everything you store on the Vault server, you can also mirror it, so-called mirror or replicate it to your PC. So in the most simple mechanism, you are having your client PC, client A, B, C. Okay, everyone having their local directory for storing and temporary saving the files locally, but all is still managed on the Vault server on the database and the file store. Okay, so what happened when a file is added to Vault? You can see on the red box. So whenever the first upload of the files, you can see who created it, who uploaded the files, when the file is being checked in. Okay, is there any comment on the files? Okay, so you can see here all the details, all the properties of the files that is brought over from, in this case, from Inventor to Vault. You can even add more. You can even add custom property to it. Okay, so in terms of security, you can create role-based permissions, object-based security, and state-based security. So meaning is you can create one role, maybe, I don't know, maybe shop floor. Shop floor will only able to see PDF drawings, okay, approved PDF drawings. So not all the work in progress files. So you can do this kind of settings. Or maybe, for example, state-based security, something that, okay, everything that's still in work in progress state, only available to the engineering team, not the production team. So production team will only be able to see release. The item that been set to release. Okay, so only maybe, and then another settings, you can set only the administrator or project manager, only the one who can send the file or change the file status to obsolete. So this is an example of how is that. Okay, so after versioning as you design, so every save, it will save one design. It will put in update one versions. You can see that it's created by different person. You can see version 1 is created by Dave Designer in these dates. Okay, and then add engineer version 2 You can compare them side by side, and you can also restore to previous versions. Means if you don't like version 2, you can always go back to version 1. Here is how it looks like in AutoCAD. So basically from AutoCAD, it's as simple as signing into your Vault, and you can open your files directly from Vault. Okay, so now AutoCAD have the options to open from Vault. But now when I save, so I have the options to save using the standard file numbering system that is set inside Vault. So with every file save, I can use the standard company file naming scheme. The nomenclature of the company. Okay, so after that save, so I just refresh it in Vault, so I can see now, oh, I have this new drawing that I just saved into Vault. Okay, I can preview inside Vault without opening an AutoCAD. Okay, so now, example, I want to open the drawing that I just created, and I want to make some changes. If previously I only have a circle, now I can add one more box, one more thing, just make some basic changes. You get the idea. So from here, I can just save, and it will, if I refresh, you can see that now I have a version number 2 that I just created. Okay, so this is version 2. I can also see version 1. And I can even put them side by side to do the comparison. Okay. So if you are working with Inventor, same case, same method. So we assign into Vault. So now we have access to open up the files. Okay. So all the designs. Okay, so example now I'm opening up one assembly. So okay, so from within Inventor, so what I can do is I can scan. So example, I haven't sent this assembly into Vault, so I can scan the drawing first or the model first, and it will include all the subfolders or all the related documents. Example, all the drawings there. Okay, Vault understand the relationship between parts, assembly, and the drawings. So that's why we call it CAD aware data management. So after uploading or saving the assembly into Vault, so now you can see now it's already uploaded. Okay, so what I can do now is I can just see, let's say example, I can see the components. So the tuner assembly is used in what drawing? So you can see that that drawing is having the assembly or the files. Okay, so now you can see that, okay, so this is the parts. Okay, so if I log out from engineer, so now I'm logging back in as someone else. So now as a designer. Okay, so I also have access to the files if I am permitted to the files. So now let's say the assembly. So I'm just opening up the assembly. So after opening up the assembly, I probably want to make some changes to one of the parts. So I can just check out one part. So basically, I'm checking out the part temporarily, locally to make some changes. Okay, so once I checking out the files, so I can start with my changes. So with all the updates. So example, for this component, I would have some edit prepared. So let's just modify it and change some materials to it. Hit save it. So now when I so-called open up the drawings, it will also open up the drawings. If I now save it, it will automatically save inside Vault as well. So Vault now have one new versions updated. Okay. So now let's say I'm checking in, so I can create some settings to automatically include all the files. Okay, so let's say we go to Vault and see. Okay, so now I'm saving the assembly next. So when I go to my vault, so I can see that now it is having new update. So not yet, probably need to click some refresh. Okay, the drawing has been updated. So now the 3D model also having the new update. So we can view the versions. So this is version 2, and you can open up version 1 side by side to do visual comparison as well. Okay, so this is another window. So now we are having version 1 and version 2 side by side for visual comparison. Okay, all the properties of the part you can see on the right hand side. So whichever version that you click on or active on, it will show on the properties. Okay, so that's what happened to files when you upload it into Vault. Here is how the automatic file naming scheme looks like. So basically, it's just a preset of naming. Okay, so you can preset probably ACAD dash running numbers, and then dash probably you can preset some dates, save dates, something like that. So you can always reuse all that pre-configured file naming scheme. Okay, so I've shown the example of file naming scheme just now. So now let's go to copy design. So one of the best benefits, the best usage of Vault with Inventor is we can copy design. So you know that how one assemblies will, some of parts in assemblies can be used in another assemblies, right? Okay, example like in this image. So this is something that we can do from within Vault. Apart from manually copying the files in Windows Explorer, in Vault we can copy the files with all the related reference file and put it into the new assemblies. This we can do. Okay, from within Vault. So this is called copy design. So we can control the entire process. It supports all Inventor specific features. Okay, so you don't have to worry if you're using Inventor. It's definitely something to look out for. Okay, we can copy a branch. It is called a branch of the assembly, maybe a sub-assembly. And then you can see that on the right-hand side, we can straight away change the new files that has been copied with the new file names. So you can do a group naming without even have to open one by one and save one by one. You can do it in a batch. Imagine how much time does it save. Okay, so why do we need to rename? So that it will not replicate or Vault will not detect that it's using the older version. From the old projects. Okay, so like now we make some changes to the files. Okay, add some fillet to the 3D models. Okay, and save it. Put it into Vault. Put some comments so that we know what happened, or for the next person to know what's happening. Okay. Duplicate search and reduction. This is also very cool so that you can search and detect duplicate files or duplicate parts. But it's not just looking for file name, it actually looking for a geometry. So the files that have exact same geometry, even with different materials or different orientations, or parts that is mirrored. So duplicate search can detect all these variations. So example, so we have these parts. Okay, so this assembly, so we can run the find duplicate. It basically search the whole assembly for the duplicate files. Okay, so there are a lot of duplicates. So here, maybe example, now we are having the blue one. So maybe you can auto replace the blue ones. Okay, so you can also create a report. You can view. So there are actually already a release part for this. Okay, so you can replace with your existing assembly, or you can import. Let's say this is an STP file. So you import an STP files. into Inventor. Okay, you can assemble them. Let's say I am assembling them. Okay. All right. So what's next? What I can do is I can find duplicates. You can see that there are vault tabs. Oh, so now basically vault are telling you, there are already one similar components, similar motor that is already inside vault. So please replace. So that is basically what vault is telling. You can replace this file with the one that's already available in vault. Okay, so you can also create a report to reduce duplications. Release management is something that you can do. Okay, example from work in progress to for review and to release and to obsoletes. The orange box release here is you can put some example. I'm putting in some rules. After every time a file is set to release, auto publish it to PDF. So this is something that rules or automation that you can create. So all this flow can be customized. It can be highly customized to suit a company's way of work. There's no one standard way. If you're talking about a standard default way, this is probably it. Okay, but usually every company has a different way of managing files, approving files, and so on. Okay, so imagine like this one. So the team leader, this is engineering change order. So basically, asking for your team members to make changes to the files. As a team leader, you create engineering change order or ECO. Once it's in open stage, okay, so it goes to work. So who will work on it? You can assign who will work on it. Okay, and then let's say when it's in work in progress, it's sent to check. So probably maybe an engineer will check it. If it's rejected, it will go back to work. If it's approved, it go for another review, maybe a team leader review. If rejected, it will go back to reopen. I mean, you have to rework on it, or approve directly and set to close. This is all can be highly customized. Okay. Right, next is item. So sometimes in when you model something, right? When there's a project, so there are always things that is not available inside your 3D model. Things like grease, okay, all the lubricants, yes, all that probably it's not in or wrapping paper. It's not in the 3D model, but you can always include it in as an item. You can customize. You can create your own bill of material items so that it's appear in the final bill of material. So whenever you want to send it to purchaser to purchase all the materials, so it's there. Content library. So all the content library can be remote. So you can set, you can save all the content libraries in one location. So you can allow everyone to access the same libraries involved. Okay, browser experience for easy access. So now you can access what from web, okay, as a thin client or from mobile app. Of course, there's some preset need to be done, but yes, you can do. The things that you can do it on mobile is like viewing and also commenting and also participate in ECO, the change order that you need to approve or not all that I mentioned earlier. So simplify and speed up the review cycle. So let's say from Vault or Inventor Pro, you share everything, okay, on the single platform. So everyone can comes in and view. Supplier, subcontractor can view. And so that they can comment, so you can make changes accordingly. So you don't have to really send a copy of your files. Everyone can comment and view on it. Okay, so example, when you send to shared views, okay, you can, I mean, the receiver can view it in browser without any license. They can view it. Okay, they can section it. They can create markups, so they can comment on it. Okay, they can create measure. Okay, and then they can create some text or some markups to tell the designers to make some changes on what. Okay, so all this is documented so that now you have a trail of the changes needed to be done.
So yes, is no sound.
Okay, all right. Okay, so basically, so there are no domain needed to access the file from web. Okay, so you just need to configure in Vault gateways, and then your Vault thin client can access it from web browsers. This is how it looks like in web browsers. With all the lists, you can view, okay, you can see the files. The thing that you cannot do is make changes to the files because you view it on browser. You can do approved documentations. You can share record or attachment in change order. You can download all the related manufacturing files. Here is how it looks like on Vault mobile app. Okay, you can sign in as a admin or as project managers. You can view. Okay, very similar to how you view it in your PCs. Okay, you can change the status. Okay, and then again, all the markups all can be done, all can be tracked within mobile app as well. Okay, so that is Vault web browser and also Vault mobile app. Okay, so basically, if let's say we want to work with external, so we need to use Fusion Team or Autodesk Docs platform where we can sync our Vault project to Fusion Teams or Docs platform. So all the distributed team will have access or will have a copy of approved files to view and work on. Okay. So you cannot send the whole thing, but you can create somehow something like an approved folder for them to access and work on. Okay. So now Vault is easily accessed. If previously Vault is known as on-premise, now no more. Vault is scalable even to external parties. Okay, to external clients. Okay. Okay, this is similar to what I shown. Okay, so a summary. So this is all what can be done within Vault. On the left-hand side, files checking in and out with access level control, version and revision control, engine document approval, thin client viewing, and let's say we are sending it out over the cloud using Fusion Team or there's doc access. So they can view markup PDF and viewing the 3D files. Okay, we can do mobile device integration. So all the contractors and all, you can share files to them. Okay, so this platform is not just for engineers. Of course, one big part is for engineers and designers, but it's basically for everyone in the factory or in the company. Okay, so imagine design engineering team make the changes, make the design changes. Okay, but the supply chain still need the so-called confirm part list or bill of material for them to purchase raw materials. So instead of them need to go and ask each and every time, they can just use Vault to refer of the latest versions or the release versions. Okay, so that's Vault. So it's not just for design, it's basically for everyone. Okay, so Vault highlights. So why do customers choose Vault solutions? We use all the IP intellectual property can be used. Okay, it's very scalable, it's very customizable. Okay, it connects to Autodesk platform services. So we can expand the Vault capability even outside of premise. Okay, connect with enterprise systems like SAP, Oracle to make sure smooth collaboration with other departments or other teams. Okay, so engineering efficiencies. So what's next? So this is mentioned earlier. So in case if there is any interest from the floor, if there anyone interested to explore more, this is not something that can be decided by one person. This is something need to be discussed, planned, and strategized by the whole team. Okay, understand it will take some time. So if you have interest, we can talk more. Okay, so we can set an appointment, schedule an appointment to discuss further to see what's the scope of work that can help you. Okay, so if let's see if there is questions. If there is no question, so I will end the sessions. Thank you everyone for attending these sessions.